First Lady Michelle Obama. Are you guys excited? Okay, I want to ask you, how many of you have voted already? Okay, let me ask this. How many of you, because I said so, are going to go home and vote this afternoon? Okay. How many of you are going to spend an hour, 2 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours over the next 12 days getting every single person in Colorado to go and exercise their right to vote? Will you do it? Yes. Will you do it? Yes. Okay. Now, let me start out by thanking you for everything you've done and everything that you will do. Not just for Mark Udall, but for all of our wonderful candidates that we have in Colorado. I don't need to tell you, there is so much at stake in this election. And whether it's knocking on doors, making phone calls, or stuffing envelopes, your help truly makes the difference. Here's the thing that's new this year in Colorado. We have all mail voting. Do you know what that, and that's M-A-I-L, by the way. And you know what that means? That means we don't have to get everybody to get their ballot in just on one day. That means we have 12 days, my friends. 12 days to get every ballot in. Can we do that? Yeah. Okay. Now, if you can't tell, I'm a little fired up this election year. I think you are too. Are you fired up too? Yeah. The reason I'm fired up is not just because Mark Udall has been such a great friend and senator for us, but also because progress on the issues that we care about is so much at stake in this election. Colorado's been a national leader in making sure that every single woman can access the health care services we need. I can tell you, nobody's done more for women than Mark Udall has, and we're seeing the results right here in this state with lower teen pregnancy and abortion rates. But our opponents not only want to ban abortion, they want to cut funding for Planned Parenthood to stop women from getting the health care they need. I think you'll agree that approach is wrong, and that approach is on the ballot right now. Mark and I worked together to reform health insurance so that just being a woman was no longer a pre-existing condition. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, Mark's opponent has voted over 50 times to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That's just wrong, and that's on the ballot right now. Mark's been a champion for our environment, our clean air and water, and Colorado's wildlife. But the Koch brothers and their allies are trying to undo all of this. This agenda hurts Colorado. And guess what? It's on the ballot right now. Mark is a true friend and ally of the LGBT community. I think we should celebrate the fact that every loving couple in this state can decide to marry. Now. I got my credentials online, and I'm just waiting. I did a lot of commitment ceremonies. Now I'm going to perform some marriages. I want to tell you, the debate over marriage rights is not over yet, and this issue is on the ballot right now. Mark Udall has always been an unwavering supporter of a woman's right to choose and her rights to reproductive health care services. But you can clap for Mark. But Mark's opponent has sponsored a federal personhood amendment, which, like Amendment 67, would ban abortion. It would ban many forms of birth control. It would ban in vitro fertilization, and it would probably ban embryonic stem cell research. Well, guess what? We beat this personhood amendment here in Colorado, not once but twice, and we're going to do it again. When we do that, let's make sure that we tell the world Colorado will not elect someone who supports this radical proposal to the U.S. Senate. This is on the ballot this year. Now, Mark Udall has brought our state the kind of steady leadership and skill we need in our leaders. And from every corner of the state, we are grateful for this. I'm grateful for this because I serve with him every day. And so what we need to do, as Maya said, we need to get together every hour, every day. We've got 12 days. And the ballots are already out. All of you already have your ballots. If you don't have your ballots, make sure you get one before Election Day, because this election matters. It matters for ourselves, it matters for our parents, it matters for our kids. And so it's up to everybody here to do one more canvass, one more phone bank shift, and get a few more friends to vote. And I don't think you need to take that just from me. I think you need to hear from somebody who's on the ground over in the Senate every day with Mark, fighting hard for Colorado families, fighting to make sure all of these things are preserved. And that's Senator Michael Bennet. Please help me.
Hey, Colorado! Isn't it great to have the First Lady here? You know why she's here? Because this race is very, very close. And the entire Senate could come down to Colorado. And we did make sure that we re-elect Mark Udall and hold this majority in the United States Senate. I don't know if you ever watch the cable TV. If you do, you probably should turn it off. In fact, you probably should just turn your TV off altogether. But if you do watch it, you hear these guys on the other side when they're out here campaigning or in Washington. They're always saying they want to take the country back. Have you heard them say that?
Oh, yeah.
They never say where they want to take it back, although it's some centuries ago. They don't say from whom they want to take it back, and they're so mad you'd think that we were losing jobs at 800,000 jobs a month. You'd think that our auto industry was about to slide into bankruptcy. You'd think that all of our banks had closed and that our savings and our pensions and our 401ks were half the value that they once were. But that is not the situation today. That was the situation when Mark Udall first went to Washington. That's not the situation today. We have had 55 months of job growth in this country. That we have created 10 million private sector jobs in this country. 200,000 right here in Colorado, where our unemployment rate is not 9%, it is 4.7%. And that hasn't happened by accident. And the reason we're all here, all of us are here, is that we're not satisfied with that yet. We don't want to go back to where we were. Forward! But we want to go forward to an economy that works for everybody who works hard in Colorado and across this country. We want to go forward to an increase in the minimum wage. Forward to an increase to equal pay for equal work, no matter who you are. And that's Udall's vision for this country. And that's why we got to send them back. But it's close. It is so close that this is what I know. If we do what we're supposed to do, if we do what we know how to do, if we do what we did in 2010 when every single public poll said I could not win the race, we will win the race. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And that is between now and November 4th. Everybody in here has worked hard. Everybody in here has signed up. I want you to please sign up again for another shift. Please make more phone calls. I'm doing it. Susan's doing it. She was in Park Hill last night making calls at the headquarters there. But I want to just leave you with one thought. The only way we're going to win this race is if we get everybody out to vote. So will you join me in saying we're going to win this race because we're going to vote? Vote! Vote!